Today we're here in Auburn, California, where we find three gigantic statues that were done by a dentist, which is hard to believe because these particular statues don't display any particular teeth, which would be useful for a dentist to make practicing on. Each one of these particular statues is gigantic, but only three of them are behind me because one is in front, and that's the one that you would want to look at if you were somewhere else. The statue that is directly behind me is one of an Amazon woman with a gigantic spear that she would use in the time of the Amazons to do her spearing, and she would use it to poke people. In this particular statue, you will see that she's really big, and when you get that big, that's why the name is so appropriate, Big Giant Statue. She's an Amazon statue. And here is another view of the foot of this particular giant thing, which is a man with chains, and he's gigantic with the chain, and then he's standing there with a rib cage and chains. This slave well illustrates the status of people who fall in love. And love, of course, is a taskmaster that affects the deepness of who you are in relation to the one you have affection for. And this particular statue brings to mind for us the chains that bind those who have made themselves affectionate. And this particular statue, his penis is gone because somebody knocked it off. And isn't that just like love? One of the main things in common that all of these particular statues have in similarity is the fact that they have very gigantic feet on them, which are necessary to hold them up, because they're not alive and they're just concrete. As you see the foot of the Indian Amazon, she's a Amazon. This woman that we will refer to as the Amazon woman, this woman, right? That's her right there. That's the woman. And this is the woman. She's an Amazon woman, and this is one of the outstanding statues standing out here in front of the office of this particular business area. You can notice how realistic are her breasts and her belly with the loincloth on it. And this was all done in a matter of efforts by the man with the abilities. He and his two sons, Melbourne and Sydney, made this statue of this woman. And if you look very closely, you can see there's an authenticity here that you would not normally notice unless you were looking for it in the particulars of this statue. Here we see the woman's ass, and we can see that the right cheek of her ass is very defined, and then up there is a spear by her boob, and she's quite athletic because you can see that in the grip of her right hand and the arm that comes all the way down from the shoulder area. Here we see that she is armed and dangerous as she's pointing her arrow at the one in front of her, which is the lady we saw with the gigantic Amazon spearable thing in all her gloriousness. This doctor was very good with specifics, and he was able to capture in this particular Amazon statue athlete's foot as an Indian woman might have had it back in the days of Indian feet and Indian athlete's foot. See? Look at the cracking and the dryness that they suffered while living in their mountain environment. And what I like most of all, in particular what I like, is the part of this that you wouldn't see normally unless you looked at it normally. And that's what I'm doing normally, is looking at it. And this is it that I'm showing you on this particular time. We are here by the freeway where cars are driving and they're very loud, and we are now at a statue presented by Dr. Fox to the city of Auburn when they said give it to us. And here it is. This is the statue of a miner looking for gold in a pan. And there's the pan. There's the miner. He's very big. You can tell by the look on his face that he was a true 49er fan.